Hey guys, no video for our healthcare in Japan playlist. A couple of patrons asked what's happening with the coronavirus. They'd heard that there was an extension to the state of emergency and that there was some lockdowns and various things like that. So while we're addressing it, we're going to be showing you this department store and these restaurants. 11 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, the car park is full. The reason for showing you this is we made a video previously explaining about the state of emergency that had been declared in Tokyo and 3 of the neighbouring prefectures. And since then, they've extended it. And we've been asked by a few different people about lockdown. What's happening with the lockdown in Japan? Apparently, that seems to be a word that's been kicked around, or a phrase that's been kicked around about what's happening in Japan. We would say that we've never seen a situation in Japan that we describe as a lockdown. So, and that's why we're showing you these images while we're giving you the real information of what's happening. So, what's actually happened is they've extended it. They had Tokyo, Kanagawa, Chiba, and Saitama had been declared a state of emergency, and then 6 other prefectures actually asked the Japanese government to also declare a state of emergency for them too. Now, we had that last year in 2020 when they had a state of emergency. Other prefectures that weren't included asked to be included, right? Which is very Japanese style. So Osaka, Kyoto, Aichi, Gifu, Tochigi, and Fukuoka are now included in the state of emergency as well. And this is in Aichi. So here we are a couple of days into our state of emergency, and this is what we're seeing at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning in the department store. And this is pretty much what it usually looks like at 11 o'clock in the morning on a weekday. So not much change really. So basically what the government's asked is, in the last state of emergency, or in the first one a few weeks ago when they did Tokyo and the surrounding prefectures, they actually asked all restaurants and cafes and bars and nightclubs to close early. In this time round, they've only asked restaurants to close early, and places where people eat, restaurants and cafes, to close early. Not quite sure how effective that would be. You can only imagine that means that there's more people trying to eat in a shorter period of time, which has to result in more people being in the rooms, surely. But anyway, that's what they've asked. They've also closed the borders to foreigners who are not residents of Japan. So if you don't live in Japan and you're just wanting to come for a visit, you won't be able to do that for a couple of weeks. And they've also asked movie theatres, concert venues, department stores, amusement parks have been urged to close early. So not told that they can't trade, just urged to close early. And that's always the phrases that they use. They urge, they ask, they request, and that's all they do. There's been no laws and no penalties brought into place at all with regards to this. So, as you can see, not really what a person would call a lockdown. The effect it's had on us, our local dojo that we like to go to has been closed for a month. They've closed it from today for 1 month. Our work is about half of what it usually is. But other than that, everything else is pretty much normal, as you can see. So they've requested that residents don't go out so much. They've requested that restaurants, so they didn't include bars and nightclubs and cafes this time. They just restaurants and cafes have included, not bars and nightclubs. They've requested that they close at 8 o'clock, or requested that they close early. And that's pretty much it. Those things that we've stated there is pretty much it. So they've requested that residents don't go out unless they sort of need to, right? Which is pretty open-ended as well, isn't it? So it's basically the socialising that they're trying to reduce. It seems that the 20-somethings, again, are the highest group as far as testing positive. So those guys tend to socialise a lot more, obviously, the people in their 20s, and hang out with their friends. And they tend to have university friends and other friends that live all around the place. So they tend to be little hotspots, the groups of 20-year-olds. That seems to be the case. So, yeah, that's it. That's what's happening at the moment. You can see I'm showing you hairdressers and restaurants, and everything's open. There's nothing in this department store that's not open. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, keep in mind, but there are people in the restaurants, people getting their haircuts, people shopping just generally. So that's what we're seeing. So it'll be interesting to see what the results of this will be. The reason they did it is because we had 6,000 confirmed new cases in one day, which is the highest number we'd had so far. So again, compared with a lot of other countries, we're doing reasonably well, but obviously, something needs to be done. So the vaccines should start the end of February. So we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. So anyway, there it was. More videos coming soon.